Summer's almost over, and with kids getting ready to go back to school, August can be an expensive month. So see how we handle those expenses with our monthly household budget for August. Hey there, I'm Brittany Flammer. I'm a certified financial coach with videos all about budgeting and money saving tips for you and your family. For our frame of reference, we are a family of 7. We live in northern Utah. I'm going to pull open my spreadsheet. You can grab my template. I'll put a link in the description box and in the comments, or use whatever you want. The same method works, whatever form of budgeting you use. Starting with income, my husband's salary, so he gets paid pretty much the same every month. Occasionally there are extra bonuses or some extra add-ons, but I don't plan for those. I don't think we'll have any in August, so I'm just going to keep to his baseline budget, $5,833. My business will make some money. We try to live off of my husband's income, and then anything I make, we try to put towards fun stuff. Currently, it's all going towards an addition for our house. But I put 100 in here because we do like to invest some of the income I make, and it's just an automatic investment. So if for some reason I don't make $100 to cover that investment, then we would have to pull it from somewhere. So I'm just budgeting 100 for that investment, but I probably will make more than that. Interest, we have lots of money in online savings accounts or high yield savings accounts. So we do earn some money in interest. I don't plan for that money. I don't budget it. I just let it sit in the accounts where it is to accumulate. So total income, $5,933 for the month. Now let's move on to the expenses. I start with the most important ones, go down to the ones that I have more control over. I think we just pay a gross 10% on our gross income, as well as some additional offerings. So it ends up being more than 10%, but it's based off of our gross income, not our take-home pay. Mortgage is fixed, $1,376.70, same every month. Electricity is on an average payment plan, so it's $23 for the month. We do have solar panels, that's why it's so low. Natural gas, I've had it higher than this. We do an average payment plan, so we pay the same every month, and then they adjust it once or twice throughout the year. They recently adjusted it, so we're only paying $91 for the month. Our city bill includes our water and our garbage, and we have a large lawn. We live in northern Utah where it is very dry, so you have to have sprinklers to keep a lawn green. We have tried, as we've lived here a few years, putting in drought resistant stuff, lower maintenance, so that we have need to use less water, but most of the yard was already in, so there's only so much we can do. So I'm guessing it will be higher, $225. I don't know for sure, I'm guessing. Life insurance is fixed at $11.10 for the month. Car insurance, $102. We've been paying around $101, $102 each month, so I just put $102. We pay monthly, but for some reason it changes a little bit month to month. I have no idea why, like $1 or $2. Phone bill, $30 for the month. Internet is $55 for the month. Gas for our cars, I'm putting $200. My husband will go back to work halfway through, back to teaching. He has to go back kind of the beginning of the month, and he will be biking, so he won't be using much for gas. Kids go back at the end of August, so a little bit. There's still lots of running around, but there's less than there is in the summer, and prices are lower now, so I'm saying only $200 for the month. Piano/guitar. My daughter has taken the summer off of piano. My son is taking guitar just from a high schooler up the street that's just starting out, so she just charges a little bit each lesson. So it's only going to be about $25 for the month. Groceries, $700 for the month. This is lower than what I have done for most of the summer because summer's ending. We're going back to school. We still got a lot of snack. I bought a ton of snacks at the beginning of the summer, like the prepackaged stuff that we'll use in lunches. So I am lowering it to $700. And that $700 also includes our like bathroom supplies, cleaning supplies, that kind of stuff. Eating out, $30 for the month. Miscellaneous, $25 for the month. And I have had kids entertainment. I added that over the summer, but I moved it to back to school stuff for our kids. So major expenses with kids going back to school, clothing and back to school supplies. We are lucky here. I feel like in Utah, this is the least amount we've ever paid on back to school supplies, like notebooks, pencils, crayons, than anywhere else we've lived, but there still are expenses. We set aside money for our kids' extracurriculars each month, And I intend for that to be for like sports and stuff. But here, our kids do pay, once they hit middle school, they pay school fees for middle school and high school, and those can get pretty high. So we set aside some money each month for kids extracurricular, and that will include like their school fees and stuff. But their school supplies, I'll probably buy at like Target or Walmart or a grocery type store. So I'll just lump that into our grocery budget of $700. I'll pick those up when I'm picking up groceries. But kids' clothing, I feel like we spend a lot. I used to be better about buying at consignment sales and thrift stores. Where we live, the thrift stores are not great, and they do consignment sales. We were out of town when they did one this summer, so I didn't buy much. There's still some consignment stores, so I'll try to buy that. But as my kids are getting older, it's just easier to buy stuff online and more convenient. So I set aside money each month for clothing, but we only have like 150 in there. So I'm gonna include a little bit extra for back to school. So this category I don't normally have. It's just like the extra back to school stuff. If our clothing budget isn't enough, or I don't know, just miscellaneous. 25 isn't much, but that covers a little bit. Then kids' money for them doing their jobs, 25 for the month. That's low. In July it was only 25 because we were out of town. I'm gonna bump that up to 50. And then babysitting, sometimes we hired daughters to babysit. So total expenses just under $3,000 for the month. You can see that's 50% of our take-home pay goes towards expenses, like fixed and I guess the necessary expenses. Then we move on to debt. We don't have any debt. We do use a credit card, pay it off every month, so we don't have an outstanding balance on our credit cards. We do have a mortgage, but I take care of that earlier on. So we don't have any outstanding debt. So I'm gonna skip ahead to our savings. And some of this is long-term savings, like retirement. Some of it is short-term savings, like sinking funds. So our emergency fund is fully funded, so we're not gonna add anything there. My husband gets his personal money of $25 a month and $25 a month for bike stuff. And I don't have the beginning balance over here because as I'm filming this, July is not quite over. So the end of July, I will know our ending balance for July. So right here, I will take the end balance here after I've entered in all of our expenses, copy it over to August as the beginning balance. But that's why it's blank, because July is not quite over as I'm filming this. My fund money, I get 25 for the month. Life insurance is $68 for the month. We only pay it once a year, but we set aside money every month to cover it so we have the money when it comes. House maintenance, just regular maintenance. Stuff breaks, you have to repair stuff. Our washing machine door broke off. So we're buying a new washing machine door. Stuff like that just happens when you have a house. Vacation, we're setting aside $150 for vacations. House updates, we're not setting aside anything. We're working on building our garage with an apartment above it. But everything I make for my business currently is going into that fund. Clothing, like I said, we're putting money aside each month. So it's $75 for the month. We have $100 or $200 in there. So we'll have to, our oldest two pay for their own clothes, but we do provide a few pairs of shoes and some like dressier church clothes. And that can be really expensive, but we set aside some every month. Gifts, $25 a month. We set aside medical. This, I really should relabel this, braces. Our oldest is in braces. We prepaid for them, so we got a discount for prepaying everything up front. Our second oldest, we're just at the dentist today, and she's ready for braces. And we've been setting aside money, but it's not quite enough, so I think we're gonna wait a couple months to get her started until we have enough to pay for it in full up front. Car expenses, this is regular maintenance on our car, the oil changes, registration for the car. I don't anticipate anything in August, but we set aside money every month. Christmas, we'll use the cash back on our credit card for Christmas, and so we're not setting aside anything right now. Kids extracurricular, kids are expensive, and our kids, as they're getting older, their stuff is getting more and more expensive. So we're putting as much as we can. I have $345 budgeted here, but I'm gonna try to add more to that in just a minute. Roth IRA, $400 for my husband, $400 for my Roth IRA. We personally are just investing 10% of our gross income for retirement. 10% is being invested from my husband's employer. And then we're putting $100 a month into non-retirement investments. So you can see that puts us for savings at just over $1,900, which is 32% of our take-home pay. But you see here we have $102 left over. So I had to decide where I want to put this. I'm thinking I'm just gonna round up to $400 for kids extracurricular, And then the 47, I will put in that extra back to school. So that means we'll put 72 towards back to school stuff. And we're gonna put 400 into our kids' extracurricular, which leaves us with 2 cents extra. So that is it for the month. Now, my groceries, I can track here. I have 700 budgeted, so as I spend money on groceries throughout the month, I'll track it here and see how much I have left. Same with all these categories. These 2 are automatically entered in. These, once I copy and paste the numbers for my end July balance, I will know how much I have in these accounts, and then I'll type in the numbers there. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. If you want to see how I actually do on our spending at the end of the month, I do a live video showing you how much we actually spend, and you can ask questions. Make sure you're subscribed, hit the bell so you get notified when I go live. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next video.